Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. So today we're going to take a look at the all-new 2024 BMW X1 M35i. Huge shout out to Hendrick BMW Northlake for providing this SUV for me today. Take a look at their website, that link is down in the description. This X1 is finished off in space silver metallic. MSRP is just shy of $57,000. And this is powered by the 2-liter 4-cylinder twin-powered turbo. It's paired to a 7-speed dual-clutch automatic, pumping out 312 horsepower, 295 pound-feet of torque. That power sent through the xDrive all-wheel drive system. This weighs in right around 3,800 pounds. It'll do 0 to 60 in just under 5 seconds with a top speed of 155 miles an hour. It also has a fuel capacity of 14.3 gallons. You'll expect to see around 23 miles per gallon in the city, 31 out on the highway. This also has a wheelbase of 106 inches. Its overall length is 179.8. It has a width of 72.6 and a height of 62.9 inches. As we move on to the exterior styling now for the X1 M35i, you'll notice right off the bat with the front bumper, this is a true M car. We have all of the M characteristics that you would see in other M vehicles from BMW, including that lower bumper, where this model also has the M Sport Pro package, so it does provide it with all the gloss black that you will see as well. Up top, there's the gloss black kidney grille with all of the vertical slats running throughout it. The air vents in the back actually open up like a garage door. So if the car needs more cooling, those will open up and then close when needed. This does have a sensor as well, forward-facing camera, all of the parking sensors. It also has a set of LED headlights, DRLs, and turn signals. And then in the lower section, you'll notice that you can actually see part of that front tire. So there's inlets on both sides, large ones just underneath that, and then some more trim in that lower section of the bumper. I think it gives it a fantastic look, especially with the lines that come down both sides of the hood. So it's a very aggressive, smaller size SUV. Now, as we work our way to the side, that M Sport Pro package provides it with the red brake calipers with the M logo, and this has a set of 20-inch wheels with that multi-spoke design, as well as the two-tone color. Now, this also has the gloss black side mirrors with a camera and a turn signal, full moonroof up top, and everything else is gloss black. All the window trim, roof racks up top, and then from the side, you'll notice more crisp lines in the lower section of that door. It's also in the lower side skirt with more gloss black, and then very nice fender arches, both front and rear. I really do like the design of this X1. I hope it trickles into the other SUVs from BMW for their next year models, because all of the lines and accents, this just gives it a fantastic look. Now up top, there's the body colored spoiler with the third brake light, wiper blade in the lower section. This has a very slim set of taillight housings. They are darker, which give it a nice look. This has a backup camera, all the parking sensors, and then there's more gloss black down below with all of the fins, and then the quad tip dual exhaust for this smaller vehicle. Now, you can also remote start it, so you just triple tap on the lock button and then triple tap on that to unlock it as needed or to shut it off as needed. And then this can also tow right around 4,000 pounds. Pretty impressive for its size and engine. Now, we have the power liftgate, and for being on the smaller end from BMW, there is actually a lot of space. There's some tie-down hooks, so you can put some items down there. There's also a storage net on one side, a bin on the other. And check this out. You can open up the entire floor to give you that much more space. Look at how much space that you have if you need to place any items underneath the floor. And then you can fold the back seats down. All three are individual, so you do have to fold all of them down individually, of course. You can remove that cover if you need to, and that gives you a lot more practicality. So it's a small vehicle, but BMW has given you a lot of interior space, even though it looks small from the outside. Now, as you just heard, this vehicle did lock. You can unlock it from the front door handles. There is a setting that you can use in order for that to unlock all 4 doors. You can't actually unlock this from the back door handles, but you can have that set up to where they will all unlock. Now, for the interior, this has the red leather along with black, all the stitching, Harman Kardon for the sound system. Really cool design for that release handle, tons of storage in the lower section. And then the red and black theme continues on to these back seats. Now, I currently have this one reclined. Those two are all the way up. So again, for this smaller size, you have a lot of versatility and comfort, especially for your backseat passengers. Now I'm 5'10", I have plenty of room. There's storage nets as well as air vents, some climates, a little bit more storage down below. And I have 2.5 inches above my head with the seat reclined. Obviously if I went up, it's a little bit less of course, but being able to recline these seats in this small of a vehicle definitely makes it comfortable. You can fold the headrests up too to make you that much more comfy. So I like the back seating and how they have done it. Right in the middle, if you don't have a middle seat passenger, you have the armrest and then 2 cup holders. And you have a lot of glass, so it's very open feeling for this. We have the M badge front and center with that cutout there so you can see through. Neat to see in an SUV. And then up front, the door panel is just like the rear. However, there's the memory seating controls, all the side mirror adjustments. They are power folding too. There's a trunk release and even more storage. And then the power operated front seats have more bolstering support to them. There is one manual adjustment for that leg support. That is in every BMW basically. But a very nice front seat. It's a low vehicle, so it almost feels like a car in a sense getting in and out. For the steering wheel, there's the red stripe, solid black leather, M badge down below, as well as all the brushed aluminum accents. This has paddle shifters that are finished off in gloss black. And then on this left side, all the cruise control settings. Right side, there's volume as well as shortcuts to your music, phone. You have voice commands, and then you have a few for the gauge cluster. So let's fire this up first and take a listen to this X1. And as we come back to the digital gauge cluster now, you'll notice on the left side there's miles per hour, right side is the tach along with what gear you're in. There's some fixed info in the lower section like your range, time, outside temperature, and your engine temperature. And then right in the middle, you can actually go through some more content. So using those buttons on the right side of the steering wheel, you can scroll through all of this. Not a ton of information, but it is nice that you can go through this. And if I scroll over to layout now, you can view this in a little bit different of a design. So it just depends on what you would like to see while you are driving. And the last one is for the head-up display. And there's 2 different settings you can go through, standard or sport. Sport mode is going to show you your RPM, and then standard is just going to show you miles per hour. Now on this left side, there's headlight adjustments, some piano black, 1 air vent. Leather covers the entire dash, and then making our way to the infotainment system, what I like about what BMW has done is that they have minimized this all new curved screen. So it's not quite as large as let's say an X5 or an X7. It's actually proportionally designed for this interior, which I think is fantastic. Now on this left side, there's a back button. There's shortcuts to your media along with your phone and even navigation as well. And then you can get into home just by clicking on that. And then we are back to this setting where we have navigation and then some info on this left side. So you can scroll through all of this. If you want to enter something, just click on it. And now we can pull that up in full screen to go through some of that content. If I push on the 4 squares, that gets us into Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. You have displays, all of your doors, exterior lighting, even different driving settings that you can go into. Then there's a shortcut to the fan speed as well. So you can turn that on and go through all of that information. And you will notice too, you have to have that on in order to click on these icons where you have your heated seat and your heated steering wheel, and then you can adjust the temperatures very quickly as well. So it's an easy system to go through. There's more piano black underneath that with some brushed aluminum, 2 air vents on that passenger side. Massive one right in the middle that you would probably have to share between driver and passenger. You have some defrosters, and then wireless charging down below. Now you can also use this here to lock your phone in place, maybe place some smaller items in front of that. There are 2 cup holders. Down below, there's 2 USB-Cs along with a 12 volt. And then we have the engine start stop button, as well as a shortcut to the camera system. So this does have the 3D view, and you have shortcuts on that left side, as well as being able to pull up some other angles. You can even pull up the 360, and you have shortcuts here to see around the entire vehicle. Now, this is the new shifter design. Pushing it forwards, reverse will appear, so we have that camera, and then there's also drive and sport mode. That allows you to use these paddle shifters. And then park is going to be just by pushing on that e-brake there. Now, also on the right side, there's the hazards, your volume for the audio, as well as tuning, and then you have a few different modes you can get into as well. So there's personal, there's also sport. It will change all of the colors too. And if I go back into that, last one is efficient. So basically the driving modes, but you can also adjust how everything appears visually. Now behind that, if we push on these 3 buttons here, you can get into your driver assistance as well as your drivetrain and chassis. So this is where you can adjust the iconic sounds. There's your lane departure and your hill descent. Iconic sounds is for the exhaust, which we will hear later, of course. There's also auto hold. If you push on this button, that is how the center armrest is going to open up, and that will open up towards the passenger side. A little bit thin. You could place your phone there or some smaller items. And then of course the glove box has plenty of space. And then up top, there's the dome lights as well as the controls for the entire moonroof. And then being such a small vehicle, we have a lot of glass. So it's very easy to see over both shoulders. You have a lot of visibility all around. As we set off behind the wheel now for the X1 M35i, this is the second one that I'm getting to drive. And honestly, I am very excited about driving this car again because for the money, it isn't expensive for an X1, but you have to realize that this is an M car. This gives you what you're looking for with the M performance. And it's quick. This is so quick and fun to drive. There's even some pops in that exhaust as well, which is always nice to hear. So for this 4-cylinder engine, it actually sounds really good. Now, one thing that I do want to touch base on is with this xDrive all-wheel drive system. I didn't talk about this in the first X1 that I was able to drive, but I'm not exactly sure on the split. I believe that this is a front wheel biased SUV. We just have the all-wheel drive system. It's something that I've never heard of before. We have like a torque vectoring system in the front or the rear. So it's not like a true xDrive, but you do have power to all 4 wheels, which is interesting to see. But even with that system, however it is, this thing can take turns and there's plenty of power to get up and move. So if you're looking for a sporty SUV, you're not necessarily looking for something large or something that can tow. I mentioned earlier that this does have a towing capability to it. I don't think many people are going to opt for the towing package for this. So if you want something small, you want something that you can drive in the city, and you also want something that's performance oriented, this is a great option to go with. Personally, I own an X5. If I didn't want the hitch on that to tow and use it to tow like I do, this would be a cool option to go with. It is much smaller, but I think this is fun. This is such a cool SUV that will put a smile on your face, and it's practical too. Even though it is small, it's very practical, and it gives you good vibes. We have a lot of nice materials on the inside too. So for that mid $50,000 price tag, you have a lot of leather. You don't have suede or Alcantara on the headliner, but it's still a normal material that you would see in other vehicles. But there's nothing cheap about this car for the $50,000 price range. And I think that is the biggest key factor in this vehicle. Yes, it's expensive, but look at what you're getting for that money, especially with the power that this has. Now, aside from that, just driving this, it's what you would expect from a BMW. Very similar to my X5, very smooth and comfortable. It's a quiet place to be. It is something that you could absolutely daily drive. And in sport mode, second gear, here we go. Even come around a turn, it handles so well. And we're up to speed. Just like that. Now we do have the iconic sounds, which is a piped in sound for this. Unfortunately, a lot of newer vehicles are doing that. I'm not the biggest fan, but with a 4-cylinder like this, it definitely makes it sound much better. And as you heard from the exterior, it does have a good sound to it as well. So this is what it's like to be behind the wheel for the X1 M35i. This is the first time that we have a true M version for for the X1. The M35i has only been reserved for the X2, and hopefully I can check out an X2 M35i very soon. But it's essentially the same, just a different body style. And so on the interior, this is a very nice place to be. Brakes do a great job as well. And then getting back on it around a turn, it's so fun to drive. If you want that fun factor, but you want an SUV, you're not a sedan or a coupe type person, this is a great option to go with. Super easy to drive, and you have a few options. You can spec this out, different seats of course if you don't want the two-tone, and then other options as well. But this is for the money. I think it is well worth the money. It's expensive, but when you factor in what this has to offer, I think it's a great option to go with. But that is going to wrap it up for this 2024 BMW X1 M35i. Again, check out Hendrick BMW Northlake. I'll have their website down in the description below. And if you enjoyed today's video, give it a huge thumbs up. Consider smashing that subscribe button so you don't miss out on our daily uploads. And I will see you all in the next video.